Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Broadway Podcast. Want to know what's going on downtown Nashville? Well, ride with us as we take you on a trip down Broadway.
This is the life we choose, life we choose. And honestly, I wouldn't want it any other way. I've been doing just fine, alright now. This is the life we
Well, Jamison, welcome to the Broadway Podcast, man. Happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited.
I'm so happy to get to know a little bit more about you. We was talking earlier about what brought you to Nashville. You want to elaborate on some things as far as like what brought you here from, I want to say Texas, right?
No, Illinois.
Illinois, okay.
Yeah, I'm from, excuse me, I'm from 2 hours west of Chicago. Small little town called Sterling, Illinois, Milledgeville, Illinois. But I've been traveling, living in hotels for 12 years. I was 22 years old and got this traveling job where for the first 10 years I had no vehicle, no rent. I lived in hotels every night of the year. 11 months out of the year, probably. The other month I was back home, but I've been traveling. So Nashville has been my most recent move, and I'm happy here, man. I've been here 4 months, and yeah, that's a little there.
So living in hotels, what made you live in, like, was it touring or was it?
Yeah, so it's called experiential marketing. So brands create these marketing ideas. A marketing company manages it for for these big brands, and then that marketing company hires me to bring this cool little activation to all these different events across the U.S., whether that's country music concerts, Taste of Chicago's, state fairs. And my job is to build this activation space at each of these events. So it's all about in-your-face marketing. So Verizon was a client, Bridgestone was a client, Anheuser-Busch was a client. So yeah, this thing traveled around the country to all these different summer festivals, winter festivals. And so that's what I did for 10 years.
Oh, that's awesome. And be able to see the country too, I bet it's fun. Do you have a favorite city or part of the country that you like the most?
I think the West has my heart. I mean, when I drive on the interstate and I see the mountains, my heart goes there. That's probably my favorite. Boise, Idaho, the Denver, the Scottsdale, Arizona. These like mountain towns are where my heart is, man.
I've never been out west before.
Never been?
Never.
What's the farthest west?
Texas. And it was an accident too. So we were driving from Louisiana from the Bama game. We was playing Bama LSU in Baton Rouge. And we didn't know, we were like, 21 at the time, college kids. And we were going from the game and we ended up driving for the longest time. And if anybody knows, like when you drive from through Louisiana, that's this long ass bridge for like an hour or 2 hours.
Yep.
And so we're like, we haven't got to the bridge yet.
You're on I-10.
And I guess it's I-10.
I-10.
And so 2 hours later, we see a sign saying, "Welcome to Texas." We're
wow.
No. So it took us 3 hours out of our way. That's the furthest I've ever been from out west. And it wasn't even on purpose. And it was dark. Yeah, but
man, you got to take a trip. Get out there.
I would love to.
It's unlike, it's beautiful.
Yeah. So how's your experience been in Nashville so far?
Man, it's been good. I mean, I've only been here 4 months.
Yeah.
4.5, almost 5 months, I guess. Almost 5 months. But I've been traveling every weekend for flying in and out, flying out Thursdays, going to SEC games, and then flying back on Sundays. So yeah, I've been here almost 5 months, but every weekend I'm gone for those 3.5 days.
Yeah.
So that's kind of been a downfall. But as you know, in Nashville, Sunday through Wednesday, there's always stuff going on.
Yeah.
So
every day.
Yeah, every day. And I'm happy with it. To be gone for the week, I mean, I don't know. There's always stuff going on, so it's been perfect here.
Right. It's good to be in Nashville and it's like a hub, right? So when you come here, even if you have these jobs, I have another friend that travels every Monday through Wednesday from Nashville, and it's being able to come back to a city like this after vacationing and then come back to another vacation.
Sure,
it's fun. Do you have any fun experiences that you've had since you've been in Nashville?
Man, I'm joining these like random groups. Like I do a lot of weird things. Like I'll hop on Meetup and Eventbrite, and I'll go to these like random little rooftop hotel events, or but nothing really wild. Like I love the live music, so I'm seeing new artists play all the time. And with my network, it's kind of around these new artists. So. No, nothing crazy, man. Like I'm not out past midnight. Like I have a hard rule. Midnight, I'm on my way home.
Heard that. How old are you?
I'm 35.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be 36 the 1st of June. So
I'm 36 too.
Yeah, man.
It's different.
I like it.
I personally, since I do work downtown, like I am out a lot because my job just makes me be out. But like being 36 versus like being 25 is totally fucking different.
Oh man.
So like I'm just like now I'm like I'll still go out and rage. Like I'm in college still, and I'm like the next day I'm like, oh my god, I feel like shit.
Yeah.
Do you have any favorite places or like any places you want to like you go visit like when you're by yourself or like when you're just off work?
I love to play billiards. I love to play pool. Okay. So I don't know if a lot of people have not been.
I love playing pool, but I didn't know we had billiards here though.
Oh, there's a great bar and it's over this way. And I'm going to tell you, it's Donaldson Pub. Okay. And this place is an unknown gem. It's right near the airport.
Okay.
And my buddy Eli introduced me to it with the faster horses. And we went there and he played and I watched him play and he's like, man, you gotta come check this place out. 3 pool tables. So it's a dive bar, but it's phenomenal. It's a great spot. So yeah, if you want to play pool, man,
I'd love to. I'll probably kick your ass too, to be honest. Shit, are you any good?
Yeah, I'm all right, man.
You think so?
Yeah.
Right.
You got to bring your own stick though. The sticks there.
Oh really?
The sticks there are like
they're terrible.
They're getting twigs out of the forest.
No.
That's the quality of them.
So being from Illinois. And then working around all this SEC stuff. How do you feel about that?
Oh, man. Well, I'm from a small town. I'm from a town of 1,100 people. Walmart's 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
One Casey's, no grocery stores. It's
Casey's?
You know what a Casey's is?
I have no idea what a Casey's is.
You don't know what a Casey's is?
Please enlighten me on that.
It's kind of like a quick...
For the viewers in Nashville, please let us know.
A Casey's is the dream.
It's like a Myers, like a Walmart?
No, have you been to a Quick Trip?
Okay, gas station.
It's a gas station.
Okay, got you.
But it's got everything. They're investing a lot of money in modernizing these.
So it's a Buc-ee's, basically.
It's Buc-ee's is awesome.
All right, I'll let you go.
Casey's is great, but Buc-ee's is a whole nother level.
Okay.
It's just an awesome Midwest-based gas station chain.
Okay.
But they have everything. The pizza's phenomenal. The breakfast pizzas are good.
Pizza and breakfast at the gas station.
It's a great spot. The coffee, they're like putting a lot of money into the coffee machines and yeah, Casey's. You got to look it up. Anytime you drive to the Midwest,
K
you
or
get
C?
Casey's. C.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they're out of Minnesota.
Okay. So I'm assuming like Illinois, Ohio, those places, like Minnesota, Iowa.
Yeah, Illinois, Indiana.
Okay.
I think places. Central Illinois. There's a lot in Central Illinois. Because when I drive home, I go right through, dead center through the state of Illinois.
Sure.
So, but yeah, Casey's, man.
But are you an SEC fan? Like, you have a football team?
I don't really watch a lot of sports. My friends, I don't watch much at all.
No.
But going to all these SEC games every Saturday the last 16 weeks, it's been a blast to like learn more about it.
Okay.
I have no connection to any of these schools. I
love that.
Yeah.
I love that. So that's why
you're the Bama squad.
I'm the Bama boy.
Yeah.
So with that being said, I'm kind of incriminating you right now with this question, but like I want to ask you, since you're not affiliated with any SEC schools, and I am, and just from like the outsider's perspective looking in, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yeah.
And this is very incriminating. Okay.
I think I know where you're going.
Probably. So if you had to marry or kill any SEC school, I'm gonna name 3. Which one would it be? So I'll say Tennessee.
Oh, okay.
I'll say Alabama, of course. And I'll do a wild card and say, I'll keep it good. Georgia. I'll say Georgia. So Georgia, Tennessee, Bama. Marry, kill.
Georgia. Okay. I don't have much love for Georgia. I would marry Tennessee because the women in Tennessee are incredible and the school is incredible.
Safe choice.
I'm marrying Tennessee.
Safe choice.
I'm putting a ring on it.
Wow.
I'm gonna probably sadly kill off your Bama squad.
My Tide?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna roll the Tide on it.
You're one of millions that will do the same thing. I don't know what's the hatred. So like when you being from Illinois and you coming down here and seeing all this like different, because the atmosphere is different, like the traditions are very different. Because I want to say like where you're from is like more basketball centric.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Illinois State, so I was a cheerleader there, and so I got to be around every sport. Mm-hmm. And the SEC obviously is unlike any other conference in the nation. So the Mid-Con, what was my conference? I forget what my conference was, But yeah, totally different, man. The SEC is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like basketball is probably bigger in Illinois as opposed to down here where it's very heavy football. But yeah, basketball up in my areas. Yeah. And I played basketball for 2 years in college too. So that fit me a little more than.
Oh, you did? I
football,
actually did see that. I was like I was stalking a little bit and I was like,
Yeah.
because I know you play, but I didn't know you play like collegiately.
Yeah,
So like if people that don't know me, I played at North Alabama before I transferred to Alabama. So like
no kidding.
back in like what, 2007, 2008.
Yeah, yeah.
When I was young and like healthy.
I didn't know you played.
I played for 2 years there and then I eventually lost that scholarship and I transferred to Alabama. Finished school.
Why'd you lose the
in Alabama.
scholarship?
Well, partying. I joined a fraternity.
Oh, you were partying.
Yeah, I joined a fraternity. I got caught up in like a lot of different lifestyle choices, and I was like, "Fuck it, I don't want to do it anymore."
Oh,
and
man.
I ended up going to practice hungover and throwing up and stuff. And it was like my coach was like, "You gotta go." Well, I mean, eventually the university and the department was like, "Yo, you lost. I had to walk on." And I was like, "Well,
wow.
I'll just transfer." And so I ended up going to Bama and
Good
finished
decision
up.
though.
I think so. I mean, it took me a little longer to expect it to graduate because transferring from Florence to Tuscaloosa, I had a lot of credits I didn't transfer because being an athlete on campus, you have to take certain courses.
Right.
So a lot of those courses didn't transfer over. So when I went to Bama, I kind of was like a third year sophomore almost.
Sure.
So like it took me a little longer to graduate. But yeah, I know it sucks, man.
I wish you would have played all four.
But it was, I mean, I was there during the golden age. I was there when Saban was there. I was there when we was winning championships and I was traveling with, going to see games. So it was so much fun.
That's great, man. Yeah, that Saban Land that stadium is.
Dude, they're psycho,
you
man.
can feel it. You can feel the energy from that stadium.
They're brainwashed down there. You can't tell them anything. And now they're good at more than one sport. It's a problem.
Yeah,
but I want to get into like this touring stuff. So like you're with a management company, right? And I'm assuming, or you're contracted. Like I'm still kind of iffy. You was kind of gray with that.
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of pieces here. So I have my own LLC now out of Tennessee.
Okay.
And marketing companies will contract my company, just me, to go out and run their programs for them. So it's pretty. Did you
go to school
simple.
for this, or is it something that you just kind of picked up?
I got a criminal justice background.
Dude, me too.
Really?
That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, I got a criminal justice background. I never used it.
Same.
Yeah, I never used it one time. So, but yeah, no, I didn't know this even existed when I was graduating or when I was even in college. I didn't know this was a traveling marketing job that you could do.
So you kind of
this.
lucked out. This is like a good gig, huh?
I got this gig on Craigslist, man.
No way.
I found this job on Craigslist, this lifestyle. And then it just kind of steamboated into all these other.
I kind of think that Craigslist, especially now, because a lot of people have all these like different job engines. So like you have Indeed, you have Linked Up, all that stuff. So like people forget about Craigslist. I think that it might be a blessing in disguise if you use Craigslist now, because it might be things on there you don't even know exist, because so many people are so caught up on social media version of finding jobs that they forget about the old school versions, like Yellow Pages, all this stuff. So like, but like this job, so do you have a favorite or like a highlight with this job? Like, is there something that you've done in particular that's like that sticks out amongst the rest of the things?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I kind of told you a little bit, but I work for a marketing agency that manages Tim McGraw's mobile weight room. Yeah, and this mobile weight room is an 18-wheeler big rig that folds out into a gym.
So it's portable.
It's portable. Yeah. Think of the big semi trucks that you see on the highways. Mm-hmm. It looks just like that. Looks much more pristine and beautiful. Yeah. And it's wrapped with a nice gloss. But when this thing parks and folds out, this is a full on state of the art gym for him to use. I mean, that's probably been my highlight of the last 10 years, 12 years now. Yeah. But like I've followed Ariana Grande on a T-Mobile sponsorship through another marketing agency. Did a Louis Vuitton mobile retail store that traveled as well. So there's tons of cool ones, man. But being around McGraw and his team has probably been my favorite.
Probably your speed too, huh?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Country music, working out, and traveling to these awesome cities and incredible arenas. I mean, it's
what kind of person was Tim? I'm sure he seems like a great guy.
Great guy. Yeah. Yep. He's exactly what you see in person or when you see on social media or any videos. He's that guy. He's real down to earth. He's respectful. He says please and thank yous. Yeah. You would never know that he's who he is. That he's got countless number ones. And
I'm surprised that he doesn't have a bar here. Aren't you?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I feel like he's a big name.
Yeah, he's
up there with like Jason and all them. I feel like he should have, or like I don't know if the conversation was, but I think Broadway sometimes kind of intimidates. I wouldn't say intimidate, but kind of like turns off certain artists. Sure. I think that like I don't want to speak for anybody, but I feel like maybe allegedly like even like if Jason was to like redo it, and like be offered the Broadway gig, without knowing the financial like benefits from it, I don't think he would do it.
Really?
I don't think so, because I feel like because Broadway is so different from what it was then, and luckily
sure.
Jason's is a big name place, but I feel like now, like I feel like he's just kind of like it's a turnoff for some artists, because I feel like it's not what it used to be. Terms of, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
he's like one of the oldest artists on Broadway besides like maybe Blake Shelton.
Yeah.
So it's like, and Blake's is a different kind of version of a bar downtown, and I feel like I don't think he would do it. To be honest. That's just my perspective.
You think because he's not in fan of the culture of how it is now on Broadway?
I don't think it represents him anymore.
I
don't think that what he brought to the table then and now, it represents him as a brand. I think that the brand is lost. Like I feel like Austin would be something that, because Nashville Broadway is not the same anymore. So it's almost like this is not a bad thing that I'm saying. I was like actually showing homage to him, like how he's still good old country, and that's no longer the thing here. And that's just kind of my opinion. So
I mean, I don't know, man. Nashville's changing every day faster than a lot of cities, I feel like. And I mean, Broadway 7 years ago when I was here for kind of the first time, yeah, it's totally different. It's you got Alan Jackson's. Alan Jackson's seems to still be pretty old
Alan
honky
Jackson's
tonk.
still there, yeah.
Johnny Cash is old. What's his? I forget what his is called, but yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, I don't know why Tim. I don't know if he never had an interest or if he even got approached on it. It's
such a cash market too. It's almost like you get a big artist like Tim, Jason, or like Blake, and then you just like monetize it so dramatically to where like it's not country music anymore.
Sure.
And like I said, it's not a bad thing that I'm saying that about like Aldean's or Sheldon. It's more like it's the authenticity is no longer there.
Sure.
In my opinion.
Yeah. So I don't know.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you get a chance to work in that industry and you're down there and seeing it, I think it's probably more prevalent for people like that.
Yeah.
But I'll go to Aldean's any day of the week.
It is one of my favorite bars for sure.
It's a great bar. I enjoy it.
Do you have a favorite like place? Do you venture in Broadway that much?
I do, man. I mean, like I said, I'm new here, so I do go there. I mean, a lot of my friends that have been here longer than me are like, oh, you'll get tired of that. You'll get tired of Broadway.
You will get tired of it for sure.
I believe it, but nothing changed. It's like you still got live music, which I enjoy. You still got these ride arounds that are, Whiskey Row is down there, or what's the Monday night Whiskey Row?
Yeah.
So I mean, I like Legends. I like the fiddle bands. I like
that too. Yeah,
I like when
that
they come into town.
Yeah.
I like the Station Inn in the Gulch. I don't know if you've been there or not.
I've never been to the station, but I've heard about it before though.
Yeah. They got a Poe Ramblin' Boys bluegrass squad that I like to follow, and they got a residency there. So I go there like every month. I go and watch them play the same songs, and I dig it. But yeah, Broadway rocks for me.
I was going to ask you, because you said your friends, so you have friends that live here.
Yeah, I mean, I have friends. I mean, I'm getting to know people as, like you and I are becoming friends,
sure.
Before this podcast, I don't know if you'd be my friend, right? You'd be like an acquaintance, but I think with time, you and I will be friends.
I think we can safely say we're friends. We're getting to be friends.
We're getting to be, everything's kind of a progression,
For sure,
But when I don't know if you've seen this, but in Nashville, it's kind of I'm seeing it as kind of a small LA, and it is kind of an environment where what can I get out of you, kind of.
Right.
And it could be.
I understand that for sure.
Yeah, maybe I'm who I'm around more and more, but no, I mean, I'm meeting people. I still got people from the McGraw team that I talk to and see, and I'm just meeting people, man. I think that's been probably my funnest part of coming to Nashville is just meeting random people.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite things to do is go to a bar and just strike conversation.
Yeah.
You just don't know who you're going to meet, and some conversations aren't fun. Others are life-changing, where they drop some knowledge on you and you're like, I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, I never thought that tour was a thing. Like that's probably been my favorite part about this whole experience in Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville very much is more so like a place of like a melting pot where like you can like just is a place for everybody to a certain extent.
Sure.
I do like the comment you made about how is what I can get out of you kind of thing.
Yeah.
I had an episode about friendships here in Nashville and how difficult, because I've been here for 10 years And
You've been here 10 years.
I've been here
Dan.
10 years. I've been here since COVID, all that stuff. And it is you have to be conscious about who you meet and how you meet them and the relationships you build outside of that.
Yep.
And being in our 30s, I feel like it's safe to say that you have to get a group of people that your core.
Sure.
And then, of course, you have like outside nucleus.
Yep,
but like you have that core nucleus that you know you can trust, you can count on.
Indeed.
Luckily, I have gotten to that point. It took me a very long time because, like I said, Nashville has so many different like outside endeavors that you want to like go touch and feel. And you kind of forget, you lose track of like yourself. Are you worried about that? Like as far as like being in Nashville, like meeting people and just like dating, stuff like that. Like, are you worried about like getting kind of like the brink of like the bad part of it?
Not worried at all.
Yeah.
Almost probably the opposite.
I love that.
I've been on my own for so long, traveling in and out of these cities and being on tours and being around new people every day.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of just natural that, I'm not saying I'm a pro at this, but I feel like I can gauge if you're a genuine human or if you're a good person. And I keep my circle pretty tight. I like meeting a lot of people.
Yeah.
But my tight group is tight. So I have no concern about that.
Good.
You know,
'Cause when you're good, you're good. Nothing else outside that really matters.
Indeed.
I love that.
Indeed.
I love that.
But
So what's the gauge you get now from this our meetings?
Dude, you're a great man.
I'm all right.
Dude, Dave, I love you, man. You're a good guy.
Same, likewise.
It's been good, man. It's and that whole group from basketball, I think when you do stuff you enjoy and you get to be around those people that also do that activity and you guys all enjoy kind of a central topic or a central sport, like we play ball all the time. So like you're around those people and you start to build those friendships. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not concerned about the time aspect or I know there's going to be good and bad people that come through, but
yeah,
I mean, for the most part, the people I meet always seem to be really good. I never seem to meet bad people.
That's energy though. You bring that kind of energy around, and if you're the kind of person that you present yourself to be, people attract to that.
Sure,
it's almost like the saying, like you are your company.
Yeah,
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah,
because the company you keep is a reflection of you, in my opinion. Speaking of other endeavors, like are you any like dating? Are you doing anything like that? Do you have time for it? You don't have to elaborate. But like I mean, it's Nashville, man. You're a single. You're a single man.
Yep.
And this is the market for it. If you have you had any people like coming at you? Like,
I coming at you. Yeah, I think Nashville is full of single people.
Yeah,
and we are, as a straight man, we are overwhelmed with women that are.
I love how you like me. I love how. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, did I say I was straight?
As a straight man, I'm like, oh my gay friends podcast. I want to let all the girls know that I am a straight man on
straight
this
guys.
podcast. Love that.
Yeah, it's hilarious. But like if you're a single dude, there's a lot of good options. But
for sure. Well, there's a lot of options. I want to say there's a lot of good options.
Oh, really?
I don't know. That's my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, listen, this is a question, and I've heard this, like, there's not enough good guys in Nashville, not enough good girls in Nashville.
Yeah.
And I guess I agree. I don't.
That's perspective, though.
I haven't been here long enough, I don't think, but I do know Nashville is full of beautiful women.
Yeah, I agree.
It's full of nice women that I've met, at least. It is a little LA. This is a small LA.
It very much is.
It's how I feel. Maybe my perception will change, but for the 4 months I've been here,
I don't think it's going to change.
I don't think it will.
It's getting warmer like LA by the minute, man.
Yeah.
Trust me.
But I'm not totally against it either,
Yeah.
I'm not totally against it. It's fun city. I enjoy it, man. That's why I'm here. I'm here to enjoy the fun.
So what are you doing now? Like, are you doing any tours now? Are you doing anything relative to like, well, you just came back from Georgia, I want to say, right, for the SEC.
I was going to SEC games every weekend for 16 weeks. So this past weekend was my first weekend in Nashville since I've for 16 weeks.
Yeah.
So I hadn't been here for that long, 4, 8, 12, I'm doing my math here. So yeah, I mean, I'm taking the rest of December to kind of chill out, doing my own stuff. I do some handyman stuff in Nashville as well for a couple clients, and I have tons of tools, so I love to use those and do all kinds of things for people. And then just kind of chilling. I go to Cancun for New Year's Eve and Christmas with my family, and then I'm going to stay in Mexico for all of January. So I'll come back February 1st and see what happens, man.
Dude, your bio right now is like the perfect Hinge bio. I go to Cancun, I work out, I travel, I'm just going to Cancun. Like if any hot girls watch this, you might get some DMs, bro.
Oh my Lord.
You might get some DMs. You're welcome.
I might not be on it too often though. I try not to stay on the IG as often as others, but
how do you delegate the time? Like, so you were saying when you were at first, you're like hotel.
yeah.
And now you live here.
I live
so
here.
like you don't have to like really bounce in and out of like a hotel room. But how do you delegate the time to like go? Because I feel like you're always going somewhere. Like every weekend I see on social media like this place, that place.
Yep.
How is that like? How is that like? How do you do it with the workouts and like all this stuff? Like how do you delegate your time?
Man, I think my friends would agree, but I'm very particular about my like the scheduling of my time. So I have everything kind of written out. I live and die by these little books here.
Your manifestation books.
My manifestation books, but there ain't no manifestation in here. This is just scheduling and plans.
Anything you write down, you're manifesting it.
That's true. Yeah, you're
I believe
thinking
in
the
that.
plan.
I believe in that so much. Like when you write things down, you manifest what you want to bring to your life.
Sure.
And the more you write things down, the more things come about.
True.
I'm really big on that.
Are you a journaler?
I'm more of like a notes because now we have a phone now, so I'm just like I just put everything in my notes. Like when I sent you like the itinerary, I'm like I have it in my brain, but like if I don't write it down in some form or fashion, it doesn't exist. So you just kind of like put it out in the world that this is what's going to happen.
Absolutely. I'm not good with the tech. I use the tech, but it gets washed out.
Oh no, you don't. You don't even need a phone because you don't ever answer your text anyway. So we gotta work on that, my friend.
Text. I do answer. I answer phone calls. I do answer phone calls.
See, okay, so I'm so happy that you said that because I have all these friends. So like I'm a caller too.
Yeah.
But they have literally brainwashed me to believe that texting you have to text. So like all these years, I'm the old man that'll call you and be like, hey, what's going? This is what I want to do today. This is the plans. And then my friends like, I don't answer calls. I only text. I haven't met anybody like me. Maybe because we're 36. 35, 36.
Could be.
That we don't text, we call. But I've gotten so brainwashed with all the new, worldly things. It's like, now I'm texting.
Worldly
but
things.
I would rather call somebody, you know what I mean?
No, you got to call. It's the amount of time that's wasted when you're texting, your ideas are fluttering. It takes so much time to regroup your thoughts back to like the whole idea in my world is like, how can I focus on one thing at a time, get that done, and then move on to the next?
Exactly.
Like Brian Tracy has this statement. It's like, do it when you wake up, think, do it now, do it now, do it now. Always in your mind. You should always be like, do it now, do it now, do it now. And I feel like when if I'm texting throughout the day, I'll go a day and I'll have 15 or 20 conversations. Yeah. And I realize how much time have I just spent on my phone with my little thumbs texting with doing this. And it like makes me sick. So phone call, 2-minute call, let's be done. What's next?
I love that. And then sometimes when I call people now that I'm like brainwashed, I feel like I'm bothering them a little bit. You know what I mean? Because it's like nobody wants you to call them. Because like I guess it gives people the opportunity to just like ignore you, which I hate. Yeah, like if you don't want like if you're in my life to where I have to call you, it's important. It's important, right?
Indeed.
So like when I call you, it's like when you text like just call me. I was like, well, I don't know, I don't want to bother you because I've been so like programmed to think that like you have the option now to like decline my text, but now that I'm calling you, I know you see it. It's like fuck, like what does David want? You know what I mean? So like I kind of I don't know, like I'm in the gray area with that.
Yeah, and it's answering things quickly. Yeah, like that. We're not. I could be wrong, but there's this idea that by texting you have more time to think. I don't know, ponder things, decide if it's the right decision or all these things. But when you call, it's like, I think we're made to talk. Like we're made to talk person to person.
Well, we have mouths. So I mean, we gotta use them.
Like we're made to do this. We're not made to text and text these conversations.
I totally agree.
Yeah, I'm with you.
And also like, I'm usually busy. I'm always traveling, so like, I can't text. Next thing I know, I'm running into somebody's car because I'm trying to get a text out.
Absolutely.
So I'd rather call you, put you on my car speaker, and just like hear your voice. You can hear the vindication behind my voice,
course.
And just see what's really going on. Because like through a text, there's no emotion, there's no anything behind that. So like when I'm texting, I can say, "Hey man, I need your help." In a text. And I call you, hey man, I need your help. You can feel the importance of how much I need your help.
Absolutely.
So like I'm a caller too, but like I've been socially programmed to like think that texting is better than calling. Man. I should, but I don't have anybody to push back with me. I'm by myself now. Well, now I got somebody else to like fight this battle with me.
You do it by yourself. You say, hey guys, I just don't text. I'll call you. I got a buddy Justin who will not text, and I will try to text him once in a while. Text. Nope. He is strictly call. He's more than I am. He's more than I am. Just call. Push back, man. Push back.
Yeah, I gotta push back. I gotta stay true to me. But
Stay
like, I'm
true to
like,
you.
well, I don't want to piss anybody off, so I guess I'll
Right.
conform. But like, I'm not a conformitist, but like, I can meet in the middle. I can meet in the middle a little bit. So what's going on with you now? Like, what project are you working on now besides like the traveling to SEC and like doing the things with that? Like, what is there anything besides that going on, or?
I mean, I got my hands in a lot of other little things that are happening. I'm trying to build an experiential marketing production team here in Nashville, kind of my own deal, because I do still get calls a lot about events, but I'm trying to not be traveling so much.
Yeah.
That's how the idea of moving here is still be on the McGraw squad,
Yeah.
but also have a home base centrally located in the U.S. I can still get home,
Right.
9 hours northern Illinois.
Everything's direct flight.
Yeah, direct flight. Southwest does really well out of here.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I love my working out stuff. That's one of my favorite things to do here in Nashville. Being in one spot, I can hit the same gym all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, right now I'm really looking forward to this trip in January. This month long
Cancun?
snorkel, and
Are you gonna be there for a month?
I'll be there for a month.
That's crazy.
I fly into Cancun with my family. My immediate family will go there for Christmas every 2 years. Every other year we go there.
Do you have a place there or something, like a timeshare?
We just do a all inclusive, 4-day stay. Just a little vacation instead of buying gifts for each other or everybody traveling. My brother lives in LA. My other brother lives in Chicago.
Okay.
I'm here. My parents are retired. So we do that every other year. So they're gonna take the taxi back to the airport on the 2nd of January, and I'm gonna just go float around Mexico.
By
So,
yourself?
Yep.
Hit me up because I have points. I can come there for a little bit.
Come on
I
down,
love
man.
Cancun.
Yeah.
For a second, I was going to Cancun like once a month for a little, because we have friends that work downtown, and she loves Cancun. So
Wow.
like and it's a straight flight there from Southwest. You can get there. Usually it's pretty cheap, especially if you like me. I have the Southwest car, so I just put it on my whatever and just go.
Beautiful.
And she wants to go there like once for like a hot minute. We're going like once a month, so I know how to get around Cancun. We got friends down there now.
Oh my
I know the
gosh.
bartenders. We stay in the same Paradisus place right off the, like we get off the, you know how you fly into Cancun, right?
Yep.
Take it right out of the airport. Everything's a straight shot. Everything's on that road.
Sure.
And we stay at this all inclusive resort called Paradisus.
Okay.
We know every staff member there.
Oh,
Like we were
my
going
Lord.
there once a month for like 6 months. We know. I mean, even when I look on my feeds on my Instagram,
Yeah.
I'll see
Just-
my friends from Cancun that work at these places. And it's so much fun. So like I'm down. Like I'll go there for a couple of days, come back out. No big deal.
How did you meet these people?
So like
They're all speaking Spanish, right?
I mean, okay. So I'm glad. So people that don't know, or just not meet me, I am originally from the Dominican Republic. So
I knew this,
my first language is Spanish.
Ah.
So for me, it's a piece of cake.
Yeah.
But also like nowadays, like every country like speaks English to like
Absolutely.
50% or more.
Yep.
We're the only country that's like English. That's it. But like for the most part, when you travel abroad, like people speak English because they know most of your tourists are going to be English speaking people.
Indeed.
So like you can go to Cancun, people can speak to you in English, no
Yep.
problem. We're not
Yep.
going to like Monterey or something like that. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Of course.
And we got to translate. But
Yep.
so it was easy. Everybody can communicate, so it's no big deal. But we would go like once a month for literally like 6 months, man.
That's
And so like we
hilarious.
would meet the people from the hotel because everybody still works there. The same staff still works there. They like now that when she books place, she has so many points. It's like I think the Malia company like does the point system for for those people, and she'll book her name, like they'll instantly recognize her, send her email, like we got your champagne bottles, like they love when we're there, and like
Oh,
we
that's
like
great.
we're industry people, so we tip heavy.
Oh, yeah.
And we're forgetting that it's all inclusive. So like we don't care, like. For us, like if you're in the industry, you need to be tipped.
Sure.
And so we go there, we're just throwing money like left and right, like, and they just love it. And I'm not saying
they
we're
love
trying
it.
like we're not throwing like a lot of money. We're
Yeah.
just like enough to where it gets people's attention.
Absolutely.
And
More than a lot of the other tourists, I'm
exactly.
sure.
And it's the peso there. So like we can
Yeah.
give $15, $20 and that's a lot.
Absolutely.
So like, and we do it every time we go to the bars, every time we go to restaurants. Like we're known that whole
Classic.
strip. It's so
That's
much
great.
fun. So
That's
I'm down
great.
to go meet you down
Do you
there.
ever bounce off that main strip of all inclusive?
Yeah,
Do you
so
ever go
we
downtown, or-
we go downtown too, but there's another city like a
I'll
little
go-
south of Cancun.
Playa del Carmen?
Playa del Carmen, yeah.
Great
And
spot.
we'll go there and hang out for a little bit to get off the beaten path.
Yeah.
And we'll bounce back up. But like, yeah, Cancun's our spot, man.
That's great, man.
Cancun's our
I've always
spot.
had a good time in Cancun. We usually stay in the inclusives and hang out on the beach all day.
That's the
and
way to go, man.
Yeah, it's great. I got my niece and nephew love it. So
Yeah.
I mean, the happiness is through them too.
Hell
Like
yeah.
watching them enjoy it. My niece is learning Spanish, so yo puedo practicar con ella y ella está hablando con ellos. And
That's awesome.
It's very good, man. It's a lot of fun. So
And you're going to be there for a whole month by yourself?
just by myself. Yeah. But I have some friends in Mexico because we lived there. I lived there for 6 months during the pandemic in 2021. So all of 2020, I was in Guatemala for the pandemic. And then 2021, half of that year, I was in Mexico.
Yeah.
In Oaxaca, Chiapas, a little
Oaxaca,
bit Jalisco.
that's like a little further south of Mexico City, right?
Yep. It's way south.
Yeah.
Chiapas is like the farthest south state in Mexico. Oaxaca's
So you had to learn how to speak Spanish a little bit then?
Yeah, I mean,
be in those
I
areas.
taught myself before I went there. So all of 2017, 18, 19, I was studying, and it was just my goal to learn. I didn't want to be another white boy that only spoke one language. So I wanted to.
Well, I don't even say white boy, just in general, like just speaking one language, because it's not normal. Like I don't think people understand when you start traveling a lot. Like I feel like we both do. I was just in Spain and Czech Republic, like I think 4 months ago. And when you really travel to these different countries, you start to realize how unfortunate it is for us. And for the people that live here in the States to only be able to speak one language. When you go to all these places, and they're like conditioned to speak English first, and then everything else second.
Yep.
And it's almost like a disservice to the United States that we don't like really push for other nationalities languages.
Yeah.
Because when even when I was in Czech, like I don't speak a lick of Czechia, but I didn't have to.
Yeah.
But they spoke perfect English. And it's like almost like, man, what are we doing here? You know, like we got all this opportunity, all this space and time to like make ourselves better while we're not doing that. But that's another podcast, I guess.
Yeah, that's a good conversation, man. Because I'm a little bit on the side of like, if we needed to use it, the natural progression of things, Americans would have to learn it if we felt.
Spanish is something that needs
Spanish
to be
needs
taught.
to probably be taught because no matter what your view is, we're getting more Spanish speaking people here. So you can either jump on board and learn it or not. But
it's also regional too, like because you're from Illinois and we live in Nashville right now. Besides Chicago, those areas really don't have to really learn other languages. But when you start going to California, Washington State, New York, Miami, there's people from Spanish-speaking countries, European countries that speak other languages.
Yep.
There's people from all over the world. Like in New York, there's a pub on what's it called? Broadway. That there's several like bars right beside each other. One speaks this language, one speaks that language. And, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so involved in like the world's community, like community or whatever. So like, you have to know how to speak other language. Like Italian's big up there. Like a lot of. I'm like, why do we not learn how to speak another language? Like it's just really like kind of like. It's a disservice. And for me, I'm a little biased because I speak Spanish and I'm like, why can't anybody speak Spanish? Because like the more you do it, the more you're going to understand it, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think the most beneficial for Americans is Spanish. Yeah. Because at least in my world, the production side, pre-event things, a lot of the people I work around with are Hispanic. So if the fact that I can break out in Spanish and talk to them and tell them exactly how we need something to be built. These guys are professional builders, right? These guys are very, very talented, the people that we're dealing with. Yeah. So like to break out Spanish, it's so good. Like the smile that they get on their face and they're just excited to be able to talk in Spanish with me. And it's just, it's super beneficial for me. But like in my hometown, there's not a Hispanic person for miles, so they don't need to learn anything, you know?
It's almost like when we go back to saying call instead of text, because like the vendiction behind your words, like if you can be able to, like, you can speak to me in English right now and how we word things and we phrase things and how the passion behind what we say, it means different than when you speak to somebody in English that only speaks Spanish, but is trying to translate it in their language, the vendiction leaves. Of course. So like when you speak their language or you speak the language that they can understand the fullest, then it means something different. So like when you're communicating with them, they know how to effectively do the things you need them to do because it sounds like this instead of sounding like they're trying to translate stuff literally. But like I said, different podcasts.
Yeah, it's great.
So now we play basketball on Mondays and Wednesdays. How do you play basketball in college too, right?
I did, yeah. I was more of probably a water boy because I really didn't play a whole lot, but.
Well, you're pretty good though.
Yeah.
What school were you at?
Just not college level. These guys were. So where I went was a D1
AA
junior college.
Okay.
In JCAA. But it was Division I. So these guys are usually transfers from Division I schools. They couldn't make the grades.
Yeah.
So they come to junior college to get their grades back, but they have incredible talent. So these guys are very talented. They come from Chicago, they come from Indiana, they come from St. Louis, at least in the conference that we were in. Most of my conference was Central Illinois, not Central Illinois, all around Illinois. But I'm a 6 foot white dude.
Are you 6 foot?
Yeah, I'm 6 foot.
I don't know if you're 6 foot.
Oh, I'm absolutely. How tall are you?
I'm taller than you, and you're not 6 foot.
I'm telling you. Well, 6.
I don't.
All right,
Okay,
all right,
well,
5'11".
Let's do that.
Six foot with boots
you're
on. 6 foot in my area.
The hands profile just went down a little bit. He's lying about his height, girls.
It's when I have long hair is when I'm 6 foot.
5'11" and a half. We'll say that.
We'll take it. But I don't have the speed. I don't have the jumping ability. I just didn't have what,
You have the speed.
what it took.
Well, now, I mean, I don't know back then.
For now, it's
decent,
yeah, 35, 20, 22 is a little different, but
Trust me, I know.
Yeah.
Night and day, dude.
Yeah. But it was, but yeah, I played there and, yeah, I mean, I love playing. I mean, I think you and I love to play.
I love it, man. And I think it's important, especially when you get to our age. Cause like when we leave here, I'll show you some videos. Like when I was I'm night and day different from like the shape, like the overall health. Like I don't think people understand like basketball is one of the most beneficial workouts.
Sure.
You're constantly, it's aerobics, all aerobics.
Yeah.
Full body. And doing that on a consistent day-to-day basis, I was wildly skinnier than I am now. Like just shredded. And I didn't work out at all. I didn't have to. I play basketball 7 days a week, 7 to 8 hours a day. Like college, going from AAU to college, like every day, my life was basketball.
Yep. Did you play AAU?
And then
AAU
I did. I traveled for a while too. I played with DeMarcus Cousins. I played with Andrew Steele. I played with a lot of people.
Oh, dope.
And just going from that level, and then after life hits you and you start working for a living and you start like kind of detouring on your own little ways and stuff like that, and time goes away from you and you look at yourself, you're 36, you're like, I'm not that same person I was. But you go on Mondays and Wednesdays and you still like I still have that mentality in my head that I can go out here and fuck anybody up. But then my body tells me, I mean, I'm still, for a 36-year-old guy with the overall outlook, I'm there still, like as far as like being healthy and being able to be out there for a long time and play. But it's just like with you're a workout guy. What is it when you like bend and twist? Like what's that motion?
Like gymnastics, or you mean
no? Like when
sport?
like how we jump a lot and like the movement in basketball is like it consists of like a lot of joint movement and stuff.
Yeah. So compound movements.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like that kind of stuff, kind of like you feel the difference between being 22 and 36.
Sure. Yeah, that lower back and the knees. That little soreness the first couple hours when you wake up the next day is real.
Oh, waking up, walking like this.
Yeah.
And like I
love
don't want
it though. It's worth it.
Exactly.
It's worth it for me.
I don't want to admit that I'm getting older. You know what I mean?
Really?
How do you feel about it? Because I even when I told you how old I was, you was kind of shocked. So I feel like
you don't look 36.
I feel like I'm 36. I'm going on 37, and I don't feel it. I feel like if I had the chance to go back again and do it again, and with this mind that I have and that body that I had, unfucking stoppable. Because I wasn't disciplined, and I feel like you're a family guy too. I want to kind of go back to that. Like family is important when it comes to overall development of a child's life.
Sure.
As far as like sports, family, love, religion, etc. I think those things matter when the household kind of like preps you for that. I have a different like outbringing from family, which we'll go another day. Yeah. But how do you feel about that? Like the importance of this like structure at home when it's relatives like working and sports.
Oh yeah, I mean, my parents did everything for me. My mom was always there. They were the first ones at the games. My mom would record every game. Yeah. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be. I mean, I didn't know where I was going to go after high school. I had no idea what I was going to do. I mean, yeah, you got to have that support system. I mean, no doubt. What did you not?
Are you curious?
I am kind of curious.
So, okay, basically
because that does affect you. And it
affects you. And it's like, and it almost like it sets you back in time too. Like when you get older, you have to like redevelop a lot of skills and like a lot of ways of like how to live life. So like for me, I have a lot of brothers and sisters. I'm one of 8, and we're all
same dad, ma?
Mostly.
Got it.
And we're all around the same age. So like the difference between youngest to oldest is like maybe 8 years.
Oh, wow.
So it's not a big gap. So like
that's like every year. That's every year.
Oh, well, we're all Valentine's babies, baby. Like I was born in November. My sister's born in December. My other sister's born in November. Like my mom was like, we're all November, October. Like it's crazy. So like I was always kind of like the one that was a rebel, and my family wasn't very hands on. So like it's different, you know. So like us moving, you know, being from DR, family, like my mom moved when I was still living there to the States. So like there wasn't a lot of nurturing and stuff like that.
How old were you?
I was still like, I was born and raised. So like there. So like when she left, I was like 14.
Okay.
So like a lot of nature and nurture stuff wasn't there. So like a lot of things I had to teach myself. And luckily, like I was able to like just share like, I guess hereditary skills. Like I was able to like be athletic to I played baseball and basketball. I got to the point where I wanted to just play basketball only.
Sure.
And started playing travel ball and started doing this and started getting looked at and eventually got a scholarship with UNA and the rest was history. But I taught myself a lot of different things. Like there was no support going to the games. There was no like dad there like, all right, son, work on this. Like we got to take you to this camp, that camp. There was no camps. It was just all sheer what God gave me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like I used that. And then also like I was asking you because even mentally like doing your credit and like how helping you with like finances. Like, I taught myself all that. So like getting into my 30s, I'm like, damn, can I just get back 10 years? So because if I have the mind I have now and the body I had then, unstoppable. Because I'm like, now I know how to be a human being.
Absolutely.
And it's almost like it's too fucking late. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm 36 now. Now the clock is really ticking. I'm trying to catch up for lost time.
Right.
So I was asking you, like, how do you feel the importance of family is to like your everyday life? You know, especially somebody like you that travels a lot, stuff like that, like being able to like, you know, monetize that or like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, you just opened my mind to the idea of like everyone's gifted. How can I say this? Everyone's dealt a hand of cards. Mm-hmm. Some are way more advantageous than others, right? Some people go through hell as kids. Others are gifted a lot of things on a silver platter. And that starting line for a lot of different people looks very different. Yeah. And like for you, clearly it's like you had to learn.
It's zigzag more than like straight line.
Yeah, you had to zig a lot. If you're you know not having a family member around for parts of your life as a kid, like you're getting pushed back a bit, and it takes that much more time to learn those things. For me,
some stuff don't even click until later. It's like, that's what that meant.
Absolutely, and you can never be taught that unless you have an influential person, a family member or a brother or sister around you. Those aren't things you just read in a book, you know, like that. I mean, I had a perfect childhood. I mean, I've gone through very little in my life in the sense of like having to catch up or anything like that. I was, you know, married parents, 2 brothers that were around me a lot, full aunts and grandmas and grandpas all around me. So, I mean,
a Christmas story,
really. I mean, I can't think of much more than that one. I mean, it's really that. So yeah, I mean, it's so important. And sometimes I forget how important that is, but that starting point is important.
Yeah. And that's why conversations like this are important because we come from 2 totally different backgrounds.
Sure.
But we respect each other to where like we can get along and we can coexist. And I think that it's important for these kind of conversations to arise because people start to realize, oh, this is how it looks, or I can learn from this and vice versa.
Yeah.
That's how this podcast came along because this podcast was an opportunity for me to be able to broadcast what I do on a day-to-day basis and how like life is around the Broadway atmosphere. Sure. But it was also an outlet for not only myself, but for my guests to be able to come on here and really just kind of like, you know, just kind of like talk about it. You know, let's kind of digest some things and kind of see like how the world is from different points of views. I think it's very important that people get that lens of Nashville. Sure. Because we have a lot of foggy lenses that are already out there, you know, and I don't think we get a really clear sight of how things really operate from like a person-to-person perspective when it comes to Nashville. And like, it's really good to have guests that are new in town or like, you know, adventurous and like doing things and like on the up and up so people can see that, you know?
Yeah.
And so that's really what the Horcrux of this podcast. I'm a nerd. I just said Horcrux from Harry Potter.
I've never seen Harry Potter, so
you haven't?
I'm in the gray.
But you've seen A Christmas Story though.
Oh yeah.
Night and day, black and white, literally right now.
Literally completely.
Oh man. But
great.
Yeah, that's how we came about to this concept. Because like I worked in the industry for a long time, even when I was in college, like off season or summers, I would bartend or I would serve. The industry has kept me afloat. Sure. It has been like my backbone when it came to like meeting people, making friends. I think I want to say besides people I went to college with, and school with, all my friends I have in this life right now, at this moment, have been people that worked in the industry.
Wow.
Every last one. So I owe that to the industry to give back.
Right.
What it gave me.
Absolutely.
I was able to move. I was able to see the world. My finances are great because of places I've worked at. I've met some of the greatest people where I work at now. One of the best jobs I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
I'm on a different tax bracket. I'm really living the David dream. Well, I mean, I am, because it took a long time to get to that point.
Yeah.
And I have to show that homage to like the life that I built for myself, but why and how I got there.
Right.
And hence the Broadway.
Are you going to stay here
podcast.
You going to stay here? You going to stay in Nashville for?
You know, man, I was asked that question on the podcast I went to a week ago or 2 weeks ago. I was visiting another podcast. They brought me on Waiting Tables podcast. Shout out to them. But yeah, I am, because I was telling them, I was like, you know what? Before I started this podcast and before I started really being able to like, this is like my therapy too, man. So I was able to where am I at with this? Staying here, yeah. So like I'm going to stay here, but I lost it for a second. I've been here for 10 years off and on. I moved to Bama again for like maybe a year because COVID kind of fucked everything up a little bit. I was driving back and forth from Huntsville, Alabama, which is an hour and a half, to work in Germantown because it was just so expensive to live here at the time.
Yep.
And I kind of just been through a lot when it comes to Nashville, but like it's probably the best city I've lived in as an adult. And I kind of lost the charm and the spark. Because for one, like I am a gay man. I'm a very strong-minded gay man too. So like I don't really get involved in a lot of stuff. The opportunity for certain genres of life isn't really here necessarily. So like I kind of lost interest in the town, especially being here for 10 years and just like, all right, what's next? Like I got to get this chapter taken care of now.
Right.
But then the podcast came along and I started, putting a lot of effort and energy into it. And I'm like, I have a reason to be here again.
So do you feel like there's a community here for
the community?
For your gayness?
I was trying to help you like find a phrase. Like, is there any room for the gays here?
Yeah, is there room for y'all?
It very much is. But it's different. Like it's how you perceive it, right? So like it can be just like a straight white man being in Nashville. Seeing it from outside looking in, oh yeah, this is where we should live. Like all these hot girls working around, but it's a perspective thing. You're more of a stand-up person who probably, I don't want to speak out of turn, who probably wants to meet the right woman, the right way, in the right ways. And I'm the same way when it comes to that. Like I can go out and party all I want, but as a 36-year-old man, I want more for me.
Sure.
So I kind of felt for a second, I was like, man, this is like, I haven't dated since I've lived here. I kind of don't want to either.
Right now, you haven't dated?
I haven't dated since I've lived in Nashville, ever. And that is all my entire life.
Dave, you've been here 10 years.
I have been here 10 years, but I live in a straight world too. People forget, like I work downtown. I've always worked in these areas. I was all white, straight fraternity in college. I played basketball at all white college, like as all straight college at that. And like, so my whole life has been, and no knock to that. I mean, I love it. And I was like, no knock to it. But like my whole life has been situated around not that community. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Now that I'm trying to venture off into this world, it's like, I almost don't know how to be gay. Cause I'm like, I've been living in the straight world for so long, around the straight world for so long, that now this community seems more far away than this community does. So like, it's just kind of been like a little bit of a disheartening moment, but like, and so that's where I was at. I was like, I don't want to be here anymore. I don't have a reason to. Like I have good friends, but like, what's next for David's chapter? I don't want to die alone. Who wants to do that? You know?
Right.
So like, that's why I was at with it. But now, yes, I have the passion to be here again. And I love it. I've always loved the town, but like I needed a reason and a purpose, and I finally got it again. So
interesting.
Yeah.
The
more you know, right?
Yeah, these are things that I don't know about. I'm not around that world per se, but
well, now you are a little bit.
Now I'm
adjacent,
catching a bit of it. Yeah,
you're adjacent to it. We don't bite. Yeah. I mean, well, sometimes, but like appropriately, we don't bite. But yeah, like what? How do you feel about that? Though, like, I mean, Nashville is a town where. I mean, how do you perceive Nashville? Like when you first moved here, what was your perception of the city?
I mean, I still view it as a melting pot of personalities, and it is very white. I mean, it is.
I mean, I hate to say white because I didn't mean to say that. But it is what it is.
Well, it's the truth.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a very, and that's okay. I mean, I don't have any qualms about it.
Well, in the spectrum that we live in, because I mean, there is other places around town, but like for the most part, to be fair to people who listen, like
I see.
So, the areas in which we live in Nashville is predominantly that.
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to make, because I didn't want people to think like we're just like, this is not like a racial like
Oh, no.
conversation. It's just like the areas that we participate in
Yeah.
happen to be predominant. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, I wonder what the general sense of Nashville is. Like if you take this Nashville proper or even all the suburbs combined,
Yeah.
what's the makeup? I mean,
I'm curious too.
I mean,
to know that.
it's most, I don't know. It's certainly not as diverse as a Chicago
Yeah.
or an LA or any of the other big cities. So I mean, I would venture to say Nashville is less diverse than most cities of similar size. That's kind of my thought. So I mean, I don't know. It's
all perspective though, to be honest. You know what I mean? Like it's all perspective. Like there's no knock at all, but like this is real time experience. People have to realize that. Like these conversations are had not to like humiliate or like lesser the situation. It's more so just like that. This is a POV of people's lives. Like this is how we see a city in different viewpoints.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
I'll be having to clarify.
And the
Because I don't want people to think like, oh, there's dog in Nashville. It's not like that.
No, there's no dogging at all. I love it here. I'm very happy here.
Yeah.
I think I have no qualms about it. But yeah, no, I'm happy here, man. And for you, I think you're fine in that group though, being in this basketball squad. I feel like it's a very welcoming city overall from what I'm gathering. I mean, you guys are a great group of people that I've met in that. A lot of you guys are gay on the team, and that's fine. But yeah, man, I'm happy here. I'm happy to be here, and I'm glad to know you as a friend too.
Thank you, man. I'm happy that you're here as well. It was good to meet you on the podcast. It was also good to meet you in real life too.
Yeah, man. We'll play tonight. Good luck tonight. We'll
I know,
take care
man.
of
I'm really
business
excited
tonight.
about that.
Good.
Thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate you sharing your, some of your life with us.
Yeah.
And if you get a chance to like share, your experience, please do so.
Sure.
And we'll do the same thing on our end as well. You have anything good going on trip wise that I can pop in and pop out of, I would love to do that.
Indeed,
too.
man. Hey, Mexico's the spot.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see. Mexico might not be in my wheelhouse because January is kind of busy for me, but we will definitely stay tuned to a bros trip.
I'm with it, man.
Yeah,
I like it a lot.
Thanks again, man.
We'll do it. Thank you.
Good to have you.
This is the life we choose. Life we choose. And honestly, I wouldn't want it any other way. I've been doing just fine.